We have a brand new fight to break down. This fight was added to the card literally hours ago. Jacob sent was that last night? I woke up to the tweet. You sent a tweet last night of Darrius Flowers begrudgingly posting about accepting this fight.
Yeah, guy doesn't even want to be there.
It's crazy. I have that in my breakdown here, but the new fight added to UFC Denver, we have Evan Elder taking on Darrius Flowers. Evan Elder 8-2 overall, 3-2 in his last 5. He is coming off a decision win pretty much an entire year ago. He's taking on Darrius Flowers, 12-7 in his career, 3-2 in his last 5. He's riding back-to-back losses, looking for his first official UFC win. It's an interesting matchup, and Evan Elder opened up as a big-time favorite, continues to be a favorite. I don't know if you want to check those odds.
Minus 410. I didn't know.
Minus 410, yeah. So it's continuing to widen. He is a talented guy. He's pretty good everywhere. He's got a loose striking style. He'll land really heavy kicks. He's got nice, solid punching combinations. He's got good takedowns as well. I do wish he used them a little more than he does. He can be hittable, but when he does initiate the wrestling, he does get fights to the ground. He's composed. He's methodical in her work for control while still managing to land strikes. He does have good submission defense. We saw that in his loss to Preston Parsons, and he is coming off that win over Gennaro Valdez about a year ago where he showcased his speed and his power. He's taking on Darrius Flowers. This guy is just an in-your-face fighter. He's got high, tight guard. He uses that to march forward and will bomb away. He'll throw heavy punches. He'll work in a slam takedown or two. He's incredibly dangerous, but he can be really sloppy, and he does chase. He works really fast. He can be wild. He sets a crazy pace, but at the end of the day, if the pace slows down, you will see that he actually has some good skills. He's a solid BJJ guy, but he needs that pace to slow before even thinking about it. He's coming off that decision loss to Michael Johnson back in February. I mentioned we found out about this fight on Twitter. Darrius basically, he posted it on, it might have actually been an Instagram post. I don't know if it was a tweet or an Instagram post, but he basically made a post standing there smiling, essentially complaining that he has this fight. I told myself I'd never step up on short notice again. I don't want to fight at elevation, but it is what it is. I got the call. And it reads like somebody who is laying out excuses ahead of a loss. Like he basically flat out said, I'm just doing this to extend my contract. It doesn't read like somebody who's like, yes, I'm on the card. Let's put it this way. It doesn't read like Dan Ige begging to fight on 4 hours notice. It reads like somebody literally who's making excuses ahead of time. And I get it. If he's worried about his cardio, I don't know what kind of training camp he was in or not in and what his deal was. The reality is Darrius Flowers is very dangerous early. I imagine he will fade quickly. Evan will take over. The guy is hittable, but he's an absolute dog. Evan's going to be the pick. The line is continuing to widen. I actually understand it. Do I think the line is too wide? Yes. Do I understand the money coming in the line? Also, yes. Evan Elder's going to be the pick. What do you think, Jakey? Boy.
Yeah, I like both of these guys. Obviously, Darrius Flowers is probably not the better fighter here. That's probably what it's all going to come down to. But he is going to be a dangerous guy, especially early. You mentioned he comes out, he gets in your face, he throws bombs. Even in the scrambles early, if Evan tries to shoot takedowns and kind of neutralize this guy early, he's got to be careful. Even with Darrius off his back and in those sweeps, because he is a good jiu-jitsu guy. I mean, that's a Gracie tattoo on his chest, right? Gracie tattoo.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu tattoo. Obviously, Evan Elder is my fucking boy. Former lock of the week. He came in against Nazim. He showed that he was a dog against Preston Parsons in a very short notice, I think, up in weight fight. And then came in against Nazim. And I got a lot of shit for picking Evan Elder in that fight. He was up 2-0 and then got that cut. So that was like one of the most heartbreaking lock of the weeks of all time. And I know that this kid is an absolute fucking dog. I'm a little bit surprised at the odds, right? Because these are both short notice guys up in elevation. And Darrius does know how to do pretty much everything, right? He's not a super talented guy, but he's a dangerous guy. And he knows how to strike. He knows how to wrestle. He knows how to grapple. So I thought that these odds would be a little bit closer. But as far as the fight goes, it probably should be like a minus 300, minus 400 for Evan Elder because he is the better fighter. He probably is the tougher guy, and he probably has the better cardio of the two if all things else are equal, meaning like they didn't have the same training camp and all this stuff. So I like Evan Elder here. He should be able to get it done, withstand the crazy stuff early, and maybe get this fight to the ground and just kind of grind him out, maybe find a second or third round finish could pay handsomely.
The problem is, and actually I was just reading this comment, Angelo's really good at over and unders. What do you think is going to go this, and etc. Anytime you get short notice, that changes things. Then you get elevation, that changes things. There's just so many. Man, this card, this is going to be a weird card, especially for round lines, because when you add elevation and exhaustion, you either get decisions because nobody has the energy to finish, or you get a bunch of finishes because people are completely exhausted. They just give up. So it's just it's so tricky. Neither one of these guys are quitters. So I don't know what's going to happen here. They're both short notice, essentially. And this could be a back and forth, or at least early Darrius, then Evan takes over, but then he's too exhausted to finish Darrius. And we end up with just 15 minutes in the last 7.5 are ridiculously slow and sloppy. It's just, elevation is tough, short notice is tough. Does that make sense to you? You agree with that statement or no?
I wasn't listening.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That face, the facial hairs, he's just too cool for the feedback.
You see it now, huh? It's growing in?
Yeah, so it's thickening up right in front of our eyes.
Woo!
We don't have any DraftKings. What was that?
There's another thing that's getting real thick right in front of your eyes, too, looking at this beautiful Evan Elder character.
All right, well. Okay. We don't have any DraftKings pricing just yet. When we do, Evan Elder will be a tremendous favorite and a lot of money, and he's only worth it if you think he can finish here, which I don't know if he can. Evan is both of our picks. I'm not going to bet a money line, and he can't be parlayed just yet, so we'll see what happens.
Ooh, I'm going to do... Oh.
All right, well, if you want to check out whatever bet... No.
Inside the distance.
There you go.
Round 2, round 3 for Evan, I think.
Or maybe, who knows? If you do want to unlock all the picks, the bets, the round line leans, and more, WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member. It is only $10 for an entire month. That month is going to give you this card, the next card. UFC 304 will be squeezed into that month as well. That is only a few weeks away. WeWantPicks.com, click Become a Member at the top.